And now I have some new guests in the sofa here. I'm happy to welcome Petra Lind, your product manager at Aritco. We're going to talk about the lifts, of course. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And Alexander Lervik, designer, head of design at Aritco, but also known to a broader audience since you've been working how many years now in the design
Over
field?
20 years.
Over 20 years of designing furniture, lights, and at the latest lifts. Now I'm very curious, of course, on how Aritco looks upon design and technology and how things are moving forward as of today. What do you say, Petra? What is your overall take on this?
Yeah, since 2016 we have launched 4 new products. The Aritco HomeLift, as Alexander helped us to design. It was the first lift that he was involved in the design with. It's the premium lift that we have for the home market. Earlier this year we also launched the Aritco PublicLift cabin, our cabin lift for the public and commercial market. And now recently we have launched also the Aritco HomeLift Access and the Aritco PublicLift Access.
So the last year has been a busy year for you.
Very busy year.
Yeah. What trends do you see in the home lift area?
I think we started with the Aritco HomeLift in 2016. That was the first connected platform lift. So it was connected to internet. So the homeowner can control the light with an app in the phone, for instance. And this gives us very large possibilities to have the lift connected. We now have a fleet management system that makes it possible to remotely monitor the lifts, to see the status of the lift, if it's working or not, and if it needs service.
Very high tech.
Yeah, very high tech, yeah.
And Alexander, you have been working with Aritco for quite a few years now also. And you're head of design in this company right now, as I understand it. And you have developed philosophy.
I think the best way to describe it is that we have repositioned the whole company from being an elevator company, like an industrial company, to a design-oriented company where acts in the business of design, so to say. And that means that since the first home lift was launched, we exhibit in design fairs instead of elevator fairs, for example, and reach the clients that way instead. When I came in 2013, when I won the competition to design the home lift, the world's first home lift. And the Scandinavian design was, of course, the focus, to the simplicity product that lasts for a very, very long time, that it's always in time, so to say. And that also the connection with the nature has been a really important part, that Scandinavian design often has that connection for me. So.
Design in its purest essence, it's about meeting a need.
Yeah.
And what need did you see when you started here?
It is a really interesting field because of that. Before I started this project, I had never thought of elevators as a thing to design, but when I then went into the project and understood how many situations we really need this, and how it can help people to stay in their house, for example, when they get older, business areas where you can, in stores, for example, make it more accessible with an elevator. So it has been a fantastic journey so far to dig into this world and learn and develop it. So.
We live in the pandemic era, where people seek to maybe future-proof their homes or maybe their offices also. And how does the lift fit into this?
Yeah, I mean, the lift fits very good into this. We see that the need for lifts are much bigger now than it was before.
Has it changed or
I
only in
think,
this year? Or?
A little bit it has changed. We sell more home lifts now than we did before because people like to stay in their home. So I think that is one of the changes that we can see. But we also see a demand on things on the lift that to make it more even safer, to prevent bacteria and virus to survive in the lift. So we do a lot of research and work on that area to see can we use different kind of materials or different solutions that can prevent bacteria and virus to spread. So that's very interesting to learn more about that and a new area for us to learn more. So I hope that we can see some new features on the lifts coming in the beginning of next year.
The lift area is new to me as well.
Yeah.
This is a platform lift.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the advantages of a platform lift?
Yeah, many people think about the lift, they think about a traditional lift, a lift that you can see in a public place, like a hotel, for instance, running up and down with a lot of people all the time. Quite big lifts. They're going fast and they use the whole day. They take up a lot of space and they're quite costly to install such a lift. And if you look on the platform lifts that we do, it's a platform, it's a wall and the floor that moves in a shaft or walls. With the technique that we use, we can take up much less space. We have a small drive system that can be fitted within the lift. And due to this, we can install the lifts in places where you normally should install a traditional lift, but you don't have the place for it, and the lift is not used that frequently. So a lift, platform lift, can be installed in a home, as Alexander told us, so you can stay in the home longer. You don't need to move, even if you're older. Or it can be installed in a school or in a shopping center where you need to have a lift. A lift in a home or in a school, for instance, doesn't need to cost more than 15,000 euro to install.
Really?
Because the lift itself is not so expensive, and the installation is only 2 to 4 days. And you don't need to do so much building work.
Fantastic. Alexander, you have recently launched a new series of lifts.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
This has been a different project than the first home lift we made. Because of that, we have used an existing platform and developed that one instead of creating a new one from a blank sheet of paper. So when you hear about it, it probably sounds easier as a project, but in effect it was more complicated because you had to use the existing technology and the measurements in the elevator, so it was really hard to get there where we wanted. But in the end, it was a fantastic result. And so what we have done is to make a new panel. It looks differently from the home lift that we did in 2016, because of the regulations in the public spaces are harder, so we had to change some
That was
parts
a challenge.
there. Yeah, that was a challenge. And then, of course, I love light, so we brought in a lot of light. The same with Aritco. That was one of the key issues when I won the competition from the start, to work with the light. So. But then we also brought in new ideas, like a video art wall that will come later. That we had the design wall in the first home lift. Now we have a video art wall, and that because of in public spaces, I think it's good to have the possibility to create something unique for that client in the elevator. So.
And Petra, when Alexander come and present these ideas, Did they seem too crazy in the beginning?
No, not for me at least. I like them.
I was surprised because they were in the first sketches I made. It was really some were really crazy,
and it's so
but
funny
I
to
liked
look
them.
back on the sketches because they are really nice. No, I think it's also good to get some energy and to get Alexander's perspective on the lift, because I mean the lift is not seen as a design object, but now it can be that due to the design we have.
Yeah, and you've been pioneer in this.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is new in this lift?
First of all, it's the panel that's new, and in there I have worked with the surface of light that lights up the buttons, and that's an important part for me, and that is the simplicity and a really clean design look, so to say. And then we have the handrail that we built in a light under to have a perfect light on the floor that has the right light levels in the elevator. So.
And what is the right light level?
It's you have an exact number. I don't remember now the exact number for it, but it's in all the regulations for the elevator. You have a set illumination number. So.
From a user perspective, how much can a lift be customized after my personal needs?
You have many customization possibilities with the lifts. All the lifts are unique. It's going to fit in the building, so it depends on how the building looks like, how many floors you have, how far distance you travel between the floors, and where you like to place the doors. And of course also you have a lot of design options also to have different colors of the lift, add floor mats, and as Alexander told you about before, design walls, and to make the lift an art piece.
So it can be really a Lee lift.
Yeah, exactly. So every lift can be fitted to what you like to have, and therefore we also have a tool that calls the lift guide, where you can actually configure your own lift to make it fit into your house, and you can make it blend in or stick out, adding colors, number of floors, and do a lot of things.
But if I'm insecure of my choices, will you help me?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we also have the lift guide, so you can try different combinations and see and decide before you order the lift. So of course we help you.
And what about security?
Yeah, security and safety is one of the key things that we think about when we design the lift. Also the new lifts and all lifts we do, and all the things that we decide, new features and so for the lifts. And we have something called the Aritco Smart Safety System that we have for all lifts. And that's a set of features that address safety and make sure that the lift is safe to travel with, and also feel safe when you travel with it. We have features in it that we have power failure operation. If the power is out, the lift runs on batteries, so you can always get out of the lift and lower yourself to the nearest landing. We have safety edges around the platform floor and on the top of the platform wall, so that you can get hurt and get stuck between the moving platform and the wall, for instance. We also have a very safe and reliable drive system. It's a screw and nut drive system.
A screw and nut?
A screw and, yeah. It's not a small screw and nut. It's a very large nut and a large screw. And the good thing with the system is that it's safe. So it's the inclination on the screw is made that way so that the lift can't fall down. So the friction between the screw and the nut makes the lift.
To summarize then, how do you see the future?
Very bright. 2021 will be as good as 2020 when it comes to new lift designs. We have already started our next project together with Alexander.
Yes, we redesign a new one of the existing elevators. So it's
that's the sustainable way of doing things,
yes.
Redesign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And when will it be launched?
We will launch it in 2022, hopefully.
So you have a lot to do in the coming year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Petra Lind, Alexander Lervik, thank you very much for joining me. And thank you for watching.